everyone, welcome to a pick a card. This is Luz talking. We're gonna set up our intention right now for that situation that is going on with each of us. Turning in some sage to clear the space, maybe take a few deep breaths. Thinking about what clarity we want to obtain, asking for protection from our spirit team, and asking for truth. So we have here 3 groups. I already pre-shuffled your piles. Your first group, I just realized you can't really see. So you're gonna pick a goddess or an archetype, however you want to call it. Your first one is Kali. It says, Cuídame de los culeros. Protect me from the assholes. Second pile is Cuatlicue or Tonantzin. The third and last goddess is Venus of Willendorf. Diosa Venus de Willendorf. The goddess of abundance, fertility. The timestamps are in the description box below. And yeah, thank you so much for visiting. I'll see you in your reading. Hi, group number 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose Goddess Kali. So your first card, Awaken Awareness, is bringing me to something that you're discovering right now. Has to be really acknowledged. Even if it's something so simple that you've already, I feel like the energy, if you've already seen it or you've already heard it, even then, to find like the whole puzzle, right? The whole pieces of the puzzle for you to be totally aware of a situation that's going on. I don't know if you can see here the symbol, but that symbol, it just takes me this little triangle, it's like a prism. The prism is connecting all the the facets of the pyramid to the middle. And I feel like that's very symbolic, like just gathering all the information, maybe really being aware of, maybe this might be like your physical health, maybe being aware of whatever you're going through, the spiritual part of it, the physical part of it, get your whole information and research good. And maybe the third part is like just the energy of it, like the energy of the root of it, that's what I mean. And the spiritual meaning, like, okay, what is it that I really need right now, like asking spiritually, like your guides or the cosmos, or maybe even asking for help from your friends. That could be spiritual of you, as well, because um a lot of our loved ones are great healers. So maybe asking for those all the pieces of the puzzle, figuring it out first, because you're in a moment where you're needing to be aware of something bigger than the picture that you're seeing right now. But let's read from the book and see what's up. Beyond the veil, clearing distortion and illusion, awareness of what's running us subconsciously, communing with our God force, energetic sovereignty, growth outside of your comfort zone, the collective awakening. Physical reality is the tip of the iceberg. The tapestry we see at surface level is just a fraction of what's going on beyond. Awakened awareness can take place when we start to look between the lines at recurring themes, aspects, and symbols that gain our intuitive attention. These are keys to a hidden overarching plan and a creating weaving. This oracle speaks to the deeper nature behind all we can know with our eyes and minds, also known as the matrix or the veil. Once discovered, it is so easy to get lost in it. We're conditioned to be disoriented in our physical reality so that anything outside of it becomes uncomfortable. Thus, we seek a framework that parallels the nature of the laws of this awakening, of this limiting place. And yet, there is a lot more going on, and our awakening awareness would like us to stretch our consciousness to grasp it. This awareness activates our intuitive system, helps us navigate what is true, and supports us in becoming more sovereign and empowered. Yeah, anything that you're missing, if you feel like confused right now or in doubt that you don't know something, really maybe like meditate on it and ask and really ask your subconscious, okay, what is going on outside of the matrix. Let's say you have a problem with money. Ask outside of the matrix, like, okay, what would generate perhaps a passive income instead of grinding, and this can be like a long-term future plan, right? It doesn't have to be solved right now, but this is what it's taking me. Either that or your vitality. Like here we have the emperor too, so your vitality and whatever goes with it, like your health, your well-being, maybe your mental well-being. um think about the things that would do well to your mental well-being, because you know in the matrix, like it says, it might be going through therapy and maybe getting advice, and that's great, it works for a lot of people. But what if it's not for you? What if your meditation is a different thing that could help you, for example? And to be aware of that. But let's read what meditation says. Meditation: chanting like a child crying for the mother's presence. The Lord reveals himself to those who chant sincerely. Okay. I think you really be you this is time you need to be really honest with yourself. Yeah, because there's something about you rediscovering that the god energy in yourself and the goddess energy within yourself is asking from you, all this structure and stability and discipline, maybe here with the emperor. And this just tells me, like, yes, this is your like inner wisdom, and this is like a masculine wisdom. This could be a male energy, masculine energy ancestor, you know but let's see, what is the celebrated difference say. You understand that everything in life comes with an opposite, even within yourself. You have polarity: male, female, high, low, good, bad, light, dark. It is our difference that make us unique. We all come from the same collective and all have the light of the inner soul. The more we learn and grow in our thoughts and attitudes, the more understanding and compassion can develop within our lives. Take a moment to appreciate an individual for the qualities that they're sharing with you, and find what learning can be gained from this situation. Yeah, maybe learning more about being more aware of really like lives in general. Like this is going deep for y'all, like in this group. I feel like you might want to go deep in there, like a ¿cómo se dice? Like a substantial, not like a substantial crisis, but just let's say a substantial moment. Yeah, it's a moment. I don't think it is a crisis, but it might feel very confusing for a lot of you right now. And just know that your emperor self is really like letting you know that you need to pay attention to some of the maybe like the organization from your life, maybe what strategies you're using for your well-being, for your stability, for taking a spot in this world, in this life. Like, who are you? You know, what would your self leader want to do in this life? And maybe there's a need to meditate and really ask yourself about that. Maybe you can ask some friends, like it says right here on the celebrate differences in the book. Maybe someone can help you. Maybe, like I was saying, this is a therapist, that you pay. Or like maybe this is a really good listener, loved one that you have around you, your partner, maybe even, maybe it's, I don't know, your brother. I think that you can also like gain a lot of just perspective from something, because if you are feeling confused and you're trying to find pieces of the puzzle, it might help to reflect on someone else. Like it says right now, let's say probably you finding yourself in a really dark time, and maybe someone that is finding themselves in a really dark time too can tell you all that they are motivated about. Maybe everything that they see light to now, that they discover that is going on right now. Maybe it's some harsh truths, but they're actually motivated by it and propelled. As of you, maybe you are not so much, and maybe they can inspire you to, fuck yeah, like I can propel myself from this bullshit that I just went through, kind of thing. And celebrate the differences that you find. And I mean differences like the different energy from yourself that sometimes can be really gooey and dense, you know, and maybe it is sorrow for a lot of you. And celebrate that it's okay to let go of things. That is the polarity. We're meant to repel some energies, and we attract other energies, right? That's just how we are living in duality. And to be aware of who you are, of course, because with the zebra, I know that this is very like of you being very artistic, very creative. Let's read the book. It says eccentric, creative, visionary. When in balance, worldly, enthusiastic, fashion forward. When out of balance, jaded, pouty, vain. To bring into balance an epic adventure or art. Yeah. So finding the art, maybe just really like, going in an adventure. This can be a mental adventure. This doesn't have to be like you traveling far, but it could be. It could be for a lot of you. It says, being in the company of a zebra personality not only is a delight, but also opens our minds. Yeah, maybe take some advice from people like this, to people like the zebra. Be prepared, their potent magic is contagious, and you might soon find yourself in a faraway land, expanding your worldview while having a blast. Zebras also like to contribute to the global health through environmental or volunteer work. This card might be a hint to pack your bags. They are young at heart, well cultured, and have undying curiosity about life. And they're the most precious of gems. So maybe you're finding that you're being attracted to an energy of this because you need some of this juice, or maybe you are the one that is like this, and you're seeing that maybe you're attracted to some people that are, I don't know, they just give off a vibe of sadness, and they want to bring you down to their own sadness. But I think that it's okay to see the difference of it and be aware when you need to take a step back. um let's read your affirmation. You hide because you want to be found. You hide because you want to be found. So yeah, I think it's time to get out there here with the Emperor and really go out there and take your throne and take your place into the universe. You might want to do some constellations of family constellations for healing your masculine side of the lineage, healing your own masculine, maybe just in you, just inside of you, your own divine energy of masculinity, you know, the one that gives you direction and really gives you awareness of the whole picture, because we know the feminine really is like feeling and intuition and nourishing and pleasure. And sometimes you might want to see that you need the difference of that, right? You need the opposite of that, like this was saying, the polarity, which is the masculine, and really be aware of like where you're going and to how to plan things out so that your feminine can be, creating at its most, and you can be feeling safe, you know. I'm hearing feeling regulated, your nervous system feeling safe to do anything because your masculine is taking care of the whole thing, it's writing out the list of all the things you need to take to that trip or something like that. But yes, that's all I have for you, group one. I hope you have an epic adventure or a very calm time of nourishment, and I'll see you on the next reading. Bye. Hi, group two. Hi, group two. You chose Cuatlicue group, and your first card is Crystal Keys. So, I want to let you know that if you are into crystals, like whatever you're going through, there might be a great support. You might benefit from crystal healing, from Reiki, from somebody placing a crystal on your forehead. Maybe some of you are like um, discouraged about something. Maybe you might benefit from someone with crystals as knows how to work with them, or even yourself. Just putting a crystal and asking for clarity, for knowing the way right now at this time. But let's read it. Hidden wisdom codes, potent information, Lemurian seed crystals, seeing your triggers as a gift, awareness of drama creating patterns, healing the earth by looking at your inner environment, healing through awareness. Be inspired to find the wisdom hidden in those times when you feel triggered. This is so much information within a raw and intense reactions. That when you choose to be present with what is coming up and peel back the layers, great spiritual insight will unveil itself in a way tailored just for you. If we all could learn to see our triggers in the bigger picture, so much confrontation and upset would be lessened, power struggles and fear would diminish, and we would see greater compassion across the planet. Perspective and misunderstanding will shift, and the way people want to be loved would be experienced without distortion. These are the seeds for peace on earth. Yeah, so there's something that you're seeing that it's just going, it's just wrong, and I feel a sense of like this is wrong. Like this shouldn't be happening like that. I feel like maybe there's something that you feel out of control of, and maybe you understanding others people side of the story would help. That's what I'm hearing right now. But let's read the charity. The sun evaporates water, then returns it to the earth as rain. Similarly, a wise person accepts life's gifts, then gives them to others when asked. Hmm. Yeah, maybe you've want to gift others. For a lot of you, it's like holding space for crystal, huh? That's what it is for a lot of you. Yeah, maybe offering your perspective to them and seeing like maybe you're someone that's very empathic in a way that they absorb and notice everything in their room that is wrong at first, because that's what happens, when there is an anxiety feeling, because of past trauma, which goes around. Everyone goes through it. Maybe you just go through it more, and you're seeing like, no, this isn't right. Like how to do it. Like maybe educate yourself, maybe practice, and just be aware that you might be attracted to drama patterns, like it says for the crystal keys. And maybe look, seek a crystal that allows you to really clear your head and not be so caught up on the drama, but also like feel a sense of justice, of course, and speak up when you need to, and maybe speak up even for others. Maybe you are in a path which offers to you to really bring peace, like in when it's like, you know and that is what you offer as chattery, kind of like you were gifted with all this sensitivity and maybe it caused you a lot of sadness and turmoil before, but now you can offer it. Maybe you can offer it to others because we have acceptance of love here. Like maybe this is you gifting your abilities, or you accepting that healing from someone that you know that will give it to you. Could be either or. Yes, the spiritual insight, like it says on the book, so that you can see a bigger picture. You might have been attracted to group one. They're also about that, about bigger picture. But yes, you can always pick more than one group. And also maybe like feeling like you don't always have to fix everything. You can always, go through the motions yourself, and be aware that you don't need to know everything, and that you are guided purely by your spirit team or by your intuition, and that you're going the right way. You have a beautiful spirit guide here, or you have a fairy companion with you in the physical. But also I see that that's going to help you. This might be like about a new total beginning as well, of accepting some of these roles. I think the key might be also whatever raises frequency, because crystals raise frequency, right? So seeing everything in a perspective in which you could, like, decipher these codes and take him as a guidance for whatever you're going, and not needing to maybe jump into conclusions so fast, like, "Oh, this is wrong, like I don't know if I should be doing this," like kind of that thing, like I think that wherever I want to start anew is probably not the best, or it won't succeed. It won't, because I'm unsure right now. But I think you should reconsider just following that instinct of yours, following that thought, and accepting everything, that you're gonna receive. This universe, goddess, or whatever you believe in, source, wants to give you all of that. He wants you to receive it. This might be you receiving a lot of earth-based codes as well, because this is about receiving codes, like codes. You might be receiving that from the earth as well. The unicorn. Let's read it. Reconnection to higher wisdom or divinity. Yeah, there's something about, okay, watch it with your crown chakra, everyone. Yeah, maybe just protect it. This comes a lot out in my readings because not everyone is aware, and it's okay. Some of us don't need anything to protect it, but some of us do, because we're just that sensitive channel, we're just that sensitive vessel walking on earth with all of this really open, and sometimes we don't want a lot. Even if it's not scary stuff, we don't want a lot of light codes and downloads at once, without letting it pass through, letting it go through these roots of earth. I feel like, yeah, like this both worlds of the cosmos and the earth, that also has to do with the goddess you chose, by the way. If for those of you who don't know Cuatlicue, maybe you want to research her as well. I know when I researched her first, I was like, wow, like this is something that I can identify with too. But talking about the unicorn, it says the mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you have begun your quest for the answers. Yeah, maybe it's amethyst, crystal quartz, mm, stellenite. Maybe all of those will really help you supplement your crown chakra to really see it clearly. It says the unicorn and the sixth chakra. It's no surprise the subtle essence of the unicorn card resides in the third eye, the exact place from which the unicorn's horn extends. This center is called the Adna chakra, or command center. The ancient yogis believe it is responsible for our intellect, intuition, and the deepest wisdoms. Some say our two eyes see the past, present, while the third eye peers into the future. Exactly. I think this is definitely your mind's eye, your third eye, like it says. Maybe you're discovering that you want to totally, like, bring something, like plant the seed right now, even though you might need a lot of patience. Maybe this is a planted a seed with a new relationship, but you just put it where it fits into your life and your into your situation, because it could be all of this. It can be that you maybe are learning to save up your money. You don't spend, you don't just spend impulsively anymore here with the fool. So that might be something that you either needed to do, to watch, or to take care of, or you are already doing it. You're discovering that you have some spontaneous spending qualities to your personality. So you might be just, tapping into that and seeing that more, seeing and following your intuition here, that you probably need to save up a little, or like spending things that maybe are just essential, as instead of like spending a lot on things that maybe are not so needed right now at this time for you. um this can also be about you just seeing, just really seeing in meditation, or in your dreams, in the dream world, where you're headed. But let's read your affirmation. I am in love with myself, and I am on an adventure to explore, expand, and evolve. I am in love with myself, and I am on an adventure to explore, expand, and evolve. Yeah, I think that, so this is all about expansion, when you're noticing that there is, for example, that there's a lot of toxicity around you, like I was saying. It is about expansion, about knowing how to transmute that, or protect yourself from that, or just, you know confront the situation. Maybe this is new and you're confronting the situation, and maybe this is even, asking for advice. Maybe you're the one that's finding yourself in a toxic situation, and you need the advice, and you need to accept the help right now. But this tells me the unicorn and the crystal keys, that your third eye is being like really activated now. So maybe like trusting that also. If you're not a person who likes advice, if you hate unsolicited advice, for example, um yes, but I think that there is like, here, accept this gift that we're giving to you. This like, maybe this a big amount of monetary help that we're giving you, and accepting this new thing, that you're receiving, exploring new things too, territories. Like I said, if you feel like, oh, it's wrong, or I shouldn't go to this way, I shouldn't move there, like, please trust that this is what spirit is telling you for this group specifically. You can trust that. Okay, you can trust in your third eye. You can trust in that knowing, in that inner wisdom, because you're really connecting to, you have the opportunity to connect to your divinity right now, and accept that that is love coming from yourself, from your inner world to the outside world, you know from your divinity. Your divine spirit team is like telling you, like, take it, you know and here it says to take the adventure and explore. So this is even another confirmation to trust here, that people, yes, might think, or you might even think, that you're being a fool, but to really explore and take that chance, because it is what your heart is calling you to eventually. And to see and really balance your third eye, to, like, feel that it is a truth, that you're seeing a truth for yourself. Yeah, and to also really acknowledge where that fear is coming from where having you let yourself accept something that would eventually, uncover a shadow that will give you that kind of wisdom, like the crystal key says, that being inspired, of finding the wisdom of the triggers of whatever is going bad right now. Maybe finding out that, yes, like I said, if you're a very anxious person, that not that you're doing charity for others, you're not like giving unsolicited advice to anyone. Like, please don't. I would suggest that you actually get your practice going, or you ask someone before giving them advice. because this essentially just means to share, share that wisdom that comes from so much suffering. Maybe you're like an any type that is that just goes through a lot of suffering, because I know that the unicorns are very like fantasy like personalities, like it says in the book. But in the book it says, we wonder what divinity is, we wonder where our intuition comes from, and if we can really trust it. We think about higher power and our minds hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It is a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. So yeah, maybe you're wondering like about like, how do I do this right now? Do I ask for help? Do I just trust myself and my feelings? You might want to ask the divine, like whatever you believe is source for you, whatever guides you have, whatever galactic families you have, etc., etc., etc. Um, and really ask for that if you really feel like you don't feel that sure. But I think you should trust to wherever you're going, and this might be like what you are supposed to do, and accept it. Accept that as a beautiful part of yourself too. Accept that as your divine feminine and masculine, balancing together and really doing that your mission, and it's gonna be so rewarding in yourself. If you think this is something odd or that you will be judged, don't worry, because you will find your crowd. You will find those who will benefit from it, who will thank you for it, and who would be maybe your co-creators, who will co-create with you and like give you those keys, and you sharing keys with them as well from your wisdom, from all of that that is imprinted in you. So that is all I have for you, group number 2. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, group number 3. You chose Goddess Venus of Willendorf, and this is your reading, which Goddess Venus of Willendorf, I invite you to research her if you haven't, but it is about fertility, abundance, has a lot to do with, the abundance of earth, how the abundance of earth is just, the more things there is on earth, the more abundant, right? All the luscious greens growing around, the trees, even the animals and humans, it's just abundantly alive, how her shape is just big, big breasts, big belly, that represents the abundance, that you're receiving, because we eventually feed. And that's what the breastfeeding represents here. For a lot of you, your mothers, or you're about to be or want to be, the abundance of the belly, representing everything that we have receiving and, essentially fed from. Um, oh, it's kind of flipped here. There you go. So let's read what the Earth card says, because that has a lot to do with the cards you got exactly. So this is really in sync with Goddess Venus of Willendorf energy. It actually just looks like a real earthly goddess here, and everything that she is connected to, and everything that is surrounding her. So this is very about grounding, about nourishing the body, also um, being open to receive the abundance in whatever form it comes, monetary, material, in relationship abundance, a relationship that it's really deep and meaningful, for you. So let's read what it says. Looking after the planet, the ebb and flow of life, the loving embrace of Mother Nature, the natural beauty of death and decay, the microcosm time in nature, ancestors growth through weathering storms, nurturing self and heart so you may flourish. Themes: grounding, finding our roots, reliability, physical healing, nurture, solid foundations, fertility, and vitality. A lot of this brings me to you might have children. I feel like, yeah, you're maybe considering when you want to have children, or maybe like, if everything will be fine after you have children. Maybe talk to some people that are going through postpartum right now and how they're nourishing their bodies. I feel right here like this is a really good time also to start projects, because this might not be children, but brand new little seeds, that you're planting, little mini projects that you're doing, alternatively to whatever you're doing right now. Maybe it's a good time, to let all those little things, that like hobbies, like maybe even meaningful side projects that you want to let flourish around you, because they really nourish your soul. That's another kind of nourishment, something that it's really fulfilling and makes you feel content after you do it. What is it? What is that little project, that little side thing that you like doing, that essentially serves others and yourself? That's what it is about. um let's read the words card. No enemy, weapon, poison, or terrible illness can upset someone like harsh words. No moon, water, sandalwood paste, or cool breeze can refresh someone as sweet words can. Hmm. Hold on, let me adjust this a little. Maybe asking for that message that you want to hear from your ancestors, from those who came before you, um, may or may not be the case for a lot of you. Maybe you're trying to communicate with someone here that already passed away, or you're just asking for guidance, from your spiritual theme. And grounding is gonna be a great way of doing that. Maybe try doing it outside, or when it's really quiet around wherever you are, when you really can perceive, the main elements around you. Maybe when you can feel the sun, or you can feel the moonlight, or you can just feel the breeze, the wind, or you can just feel really grounded with your feet on the floor, really grounded. Something that's coming through. It says, nature is all around us. Notice her and know that when you feel like no one else can hold you, she can. Spend as much time in nature as possible and do what you can to preserve it. And I feel like, okay, yeah, this is about you really like speaking these words out loud. Maybe that's what you need to do. Like, say to yourself, like, yes, you can do it, or yes, I got this, really nourish yourself with those maybe affirmations. That's something that works for a lot of people. Just affirming it and hearing your own voice affirm it. It's like a spell, you're casting a spell of positivity, when you say it. And it's actually like medicine. So, yeah, maybe that's really potent here in this reading. Maybe words is going to be your Nietzsche. Yeah, you're going to need to find. And if some of you, a lot of you struggle with words, um well, this is why. Then at this time that you click on this video, maybe that's a new thing that you want to experience, because we have new experiences and possibilities. Maybe it is possible, to she's reaching up here, and she's like probably reaching for, I feel like she's reaching for fruits. But let's see what this card says, because you have the 7 of Pentacles too. I wanted to mention that whatever you're like worried about or stressing about financially right now, it's looking very like it's going to be very stable, even if it's not right now. Like, there's a lot of potential in it. Okay, and maybe you need to say that to yourself, like, I am safe, I have enough, I have enough money, I have enough food, I will always be sheltered. Anything like that. I think words are really what's marking it right here for you. And to ground when you say that, to really ground and breathe before, maybe to maybe just exercise before, like, grounding can be done in a lot of ways. For you can also like sing, and that can be your grounding, because singing is like, yes, you're taking big long deep breaths sometimes to sing something really long or really loud. Yeah, let's see what the book says for your new experiences and possibilities. Look around in nature. Notice the new beginnings, new experiences, and new choices being shown to you. They will only be evident to you if you take the time to look for these subtle messages. You are on the first steps along a new path. You are being offered a blank page. What are the first words you would like to write on it? Your possibilities are endless. You are in complete control of your life. This is a new beginning on your journey. Live in the present and trust in your own abilities. Plant your seeds and willingly venture into new territory. Yes, I feel like it says, what are the words that you would write? Maybe this is about writing. As long as you read it and say it, and it can be the same as saying it in your mind, to yourself. When you write something and you plan for it, maybe for a lot of you, this is like a vision board for, I don't know, that place you want or that environment you want to be working in. Anything like that. But I feel like this is more about environments. A lot of you are like, yearning to live in nature, maybe work in nature, maybe work preserving nature, like it says right here on the earth card. I think you're very connected to them, living and growing food, growing flowers, even like it could be a lot of the thing, growing medicine, growing herbs, um and like it says, being really present is important. So the grounding is going to be really important, that you ground before even like taking your actions and opening yourself to these new experiences with a very calm mind. You already made space in that mind, breathing, doing whatever, going for a swim or whatever you needed to do to be grounded and to be able to do that and reach for those fruits, bring them down and harvest them. Maybe you will work literally planting new trees somewhere, but you're someone that really likes to, I feel like you really like to share with others. And maybe you're growing medicine for others. Maybe some of you want to be herbalists or are already. You'll know this is your pile then because you are in that path. Or holistic doctors, anything that has to do with natural ways of healing, you know, like it can be from working with things from the earth to like practices like movement practices that are very natural because we're using our own bodies to heal ourselves. We're not using chemicals to heal ourselves per se. So maybe some of that. um I feel like yes, and it's gonna be around nature for sure with this card. Being saying that to look around nature, so that might be a sign. Maybe you're gonna work around, I don't know, around a lake, something, something that's just outdoors. I'm feeling, and this could also be like a forest, of course. Like it could be anything, but I heard lake for a lot of you. But let's read the lion. The lion card is a fire element, and we know this is a card about a lot of like it has to do with strength, with building that fire that really starts things or just expresses things with such passion that others will absorb it. Like a lot of you are meant to like show others that these ways of living is possible and like share your words and your experiences with them. Let's see what it says in the book. Patient, regal, a complete master. The lion is a master of the fire element and the living mascot of self transformation. A lion personality dedicates their life to personal and spiritual growth. This dedication inspires some and intimidates others. Therefore, the lion is expected by all but known intimately by few. Some mistake the lion as hard to access or aloof. Yet those with a keener eye know better. Lions are observant, stealth, and precise in their words and actions. They do not waste energy or resources. This card reminds us that self mastery is available to all, no matter where our guest begins. When in balance, the epitome of peace and strength. When out of balance, withdrawn and too serious. To bring into balance, daily meditation and friendship. Yeah, I think like it says, the lion knows like exactly what to say. So tapping into that energy right now might help you go through whatever you're going through. Like if you're going through something that is very hard for you to process right now emotionally or physically in your body, you might want to like tap into that energy of words, of believing that you have enough abundance and that you have enough resources. um yes, because you have been working hard and you have been, being very determined, and to really be aware that you have the being deserving all of this, because you might have been working too hard and not even noticing and acknowledging that you have all of this, to really reap the rewards and the fruits of what you're receiving. Maybe you have like a guilt trip with something or with someone, I don't know, but to really say those words to you, like I've worked hard, I deserve this, and you do have enough stability right now, as of now, or you will soon. So there's that element of patience. And if this is about relationships, you have been cultivating a very healthy relationship with this car upright. So it might be turning into romance for some of you, just saying. It might not, or it might turn into a very, very good connection that will make you both grow. A very good friendship, for example. And also, like, I want to say the with that being said about the friendship, that's just what you might need. You know, here with the lion, it says daily meditation and friendship, and maybe your daily meditation is connecting with someone, letting yourself be received and felt. It's also nourishing, nourishing relationships, or maybe you sharing your wisdom with them. Yeah, maybe that letting that relationship go deeper because you have been cultivating a great energy, an abundant energy of love, with that. Yeah, maybe this is about literally having a child, like I said, but it could be, new experiences and possibilities. So maybe just be aware of that, and be aware that as long as you get to that state of telling yourself that everything will be fine and it's okay, you can find peace, and eventually that is what this life is about, to feel that you've mastered yourself, like the lion says, and that you can feel that peace so that you can let your fire flow, and let these projects and things flourish and go and take its go to the world. It says, I trust the love that others have for me is steady, constant, and unwavering. I trust the love that others have for me is steady, constant, and unwavering. Yeah, I feel like whatever you were maybe hesitating, to let yourself love a lot, and whether these are, I don't know, family, friendship, or partnership, even business partnership too, or romantic partnership, to let yourself be drawn into that, and to know that and acknowledge that you have worked enough in past trauma and past toxic relationships to actually deserve a good one, to trust that it's a good one, that the pattern will and the cycle will not repeat itself, kind of, that's what I'm getting at. um and yeah, it should feel like this, it should feel peaceful and like you can express who you are, and it should feel nourishing and that you feel energized after, even sometimes, and to really trust, because I think this is all up to you trusting, your own self, and like knowing that sharing your love with others is also a way of building that, building that relationship, perhaps, because yes, nothing like words can really let others get fed of that energy, of that abundant energy of love and harmony that you're really creating here. you're really co-creating. um yeah, I would also maybe just really be patient if this is about health or about a financial situation, and really like maybe working that those affirmations, maybe releasing it from your body like I said. This is recommending daily meditation, so maybe something short and sweet that you can do every day. It could be writing, it could be, just saying some words to your nourishing spells out loud to yourself when you are showering or when you are doing your thing outdoors. But yes, that's all I have for you right now, group number 3. Thank you so much for tapping in, and I'll see you on the next reading. Bye.